Hey, what's up people, David here with After Video Effects and welcome back to another video tutorial. And today we're going to be making the Marauder's Map effect. So let's take a look at what we're going to be creating.
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
Alright, so let's get into it. So I've got a 1920 by 1080 comp here, and I'm just going to import my table footage, drop it into our comp. So let's shut off the normal map first. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees and scale it down to maybe about 60%. Just want to scale it down as little as possible so that it fits within our comp. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is add a displacement map, and we're going to choose our normal map, and we're going to set this to 100 by 100 so that we get nice distortion mapping or normal map on our texture. Okay, so that's done. So let's go and import our stuff. So import the writing paper and the Marauder's map together. Assets in here. I'm gonna scale the writing in the paper down to about 34% so that it fits in our comp. We'll shut the eye off and move this to the top for the Marauder's map. And we want to make a reveal texture, so we're going to make a new comp, same settings, and add maybe black solid, and we'll add the fractal noise. We'll set this to dynamic progressive, maybe this to 12. And we'll get some contrast here maybe. And go to sub settings, sub rotate this to about 154. And I like to add the unsharp mask. Set this about to 100 so that we get nice clear textures, if you can see that. Okay, alright, so we're just gonna bump this all the way up until it's like completely white, so very sharp contrast. Okay, and maybe we can transform, maybe scale it up a bit, something like that. And let's play with the brightness. So we're gonna bring this down until it's like completely off. Hit the stopwatch, move forward about 6 seconds, and brighten it back up until it's completely white, so that we have a nice on and off animation. Okay, and then let's import our reveal. So import our reveal on top of the writing. Shut the eye off. Call this reveal, and set it the track matte to Luma matte, and that way when we play it, we get nice animation for the Marauder's map to reveal. Okay, you can adjust the settings if you want, but I'm not going to go too much detail with that. Yeah, because we've got a lot to do. So let's import these inside layers underneath the paper. Shut the eye off for now, and we'll come back to those. So let's focus on this map. Alright, so let's go to the 6 mark and just drag it to that area. And we want to position it on top of our Marauder's map. So just align it until it perfectly sits on top. So draw a mask in the center like here. And double click it just to align it in the center. And we can see we've got the right half, and if we duplicate it, hit set it to subtract. Now we've got 2 halves. So I'm just going to call this one left, and I'll call this one right. And we set the feather to 2 pixels for both. That should be okay. Alright, so that once that's done, let's move on to our other inside layers. So my values were for the scaling about 47%, so I'm just going to scale it down to that. And move it down a bit. Make sure you just label these so that you know which layer is which. So I'm just going to do that quickly, so I'll be back. Okay, so once it's all labeled and color coded, I'm just going to do the right hand side first. So I'll just shut the left side for both of them, and I'll shut the left and right on top, and I'll just solo these two. Okay, so for the right outside, which is this part, you want to change the anchor point for this layer to about the center on the edge of the paper. That way it rotates on that anchor point. Okay, so once that's done, we can start rotating this. So hit R, on this, and we want to maybe do it around here, and then just I forgot, make it a 3D layer. Okay, so we gotta rotate it on the y-axis, so make sure it folds to 180 degrees. 181, 180, same thing. Alright, alright, so hit the stopwatch, move forward, and you want to unfold it manually. So maybe about 1. Now the reason why I set it to 1, because if we set it to 0, it's going to rotate the other way. So I don't want that to happen, so set it to 1. So if we play this, we get nice rotation happening. Cool. Alrighty, so that's how you rotate the paper. Okay, so you want to shift these 4 layers maybe after the animation, so around about, I don't know, here. That way they come on and the layer can start rotating. Okay, cool. And I'm just gonna skip the left side because it's basically the same. You just gotta do the reverse. So you just gotta make sure that it's inverted for the rotation. So just give me a moment. So yeah, it starts from 181 and then rotates to 359. So you still have that 1 degree deduction. Okay, and set the anchor point to, well, in this case, the this side, and then just rotate it. Okay, cool. So once you've got this animation done, now you can start aligning your map on top. So it's laid on top, and we want to make it a 3D layer. So, and then we want to, as it starts to open, we want to push it, both of these in Z space. So hit P for both, and we want to hit the stopwatch for both of these, and just drag these in a little bit. So as it starts to open, which is about here, we want to push these layers in Z space. Push it up. Okay, and just keep doing this for, just follow the layers as it plays. So push that even maybe a bit more, and then once it's done, we can start animating it going to the side. So we can use the outline, I'm gonna call it, as a reference. So just push it across here and just make it align perfectly with the edge of the paper. So just scrub through even more, and then we can drag this across here. Or maybe that's too much, and then just drop it back down in Z space. So just push it down, and you can use the value for this at the initial, so it was 0. So just push it back down to 0, and make sure you just slide it across. Okay, and it should look something like this. Alright, so let's take a look. That's okay. Alright, so as we can see here, I haven't done the left side because it's basically the same, but you just got to do the other side as well. Alright, so I'm just going to skip that process because I do want to make this tutorial short. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, so I did that. Now let's do some color correction. So adjustment layer, so Control Y, Control D, I'll call this one CC, I'll call this one Vignette. I can't spell. Okay, so let's get the curves adjustment and drop this down, and we'll make an ellipse mask tool, set it to subtract, hit F, feather it out quite a lot, maybe drop this down a bit more, and we'll do the same thing, curves and tint, put this before the curves, maybe drop 20%. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's make a new camera. So Control Alt Shift C and hit OK. Okay, so from this point, when it's fully opened, I'm going to hit P, then Shift A. So keyframes here, and scrub through, and then just zoom in. Maybe where this section is, and this is where our footsteps will start to happen. Okay, so I've got some name tags here. Well, I've actually only got one, but I'm just going to drop it out into our comp here, and we'll make it a 3D layer, and we'll just drop it somewhere here, and we're going to pre-compose this. So right click, pre-compose, and we'll move all attributes and we'll call this name. Okay, and hit this star button, and then we'll move it back. So let's open this up and let's make a new text. So call this one after video effects. Okay, so let's scale this down. Move it in here. Change the text to black, and you're done. Alright, so some things you should just know before we move on. So I made it a 3D layer, the text, pick whipped it to our name tag. So wherever this goes, this will follow. And yeah, just set the text to black. And let's come back into here, hit this star button, the collapse transformation, and now this comp will recognize this as two separate layers. Okay, that's out of the way. Let's add a turbulent displace, and we'll probably set the size down, maybe about 20, and amount down to about 20 as well. Okay, cool. So we get nice turbulence. Alright, so now let's make our footsteps. So I got this shoe prints from the internet, and we'll just drop into a new comp, and we're just gonna trace this right shoe. So we're just gonna trace it all around here. So I'm just gonna quickly do this, so I'll be back. Alright, so I just masked out the shoe, and I'm just gonna add a tint effect. So color correction tint, and we're gonna make the black to more like a brownish color, and we'll drop this down to maybe about 30 to 20%, maybe go 25, and okay. And we'll also add a roughen edges effect. So there's it here, and we'll roughen the edges with these shoes so that it's not too perfect. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's jump back into our map, and let's drop our shoe underneath here, and we'll make it a 3D layer. Okay, so we'll scale it down, and then move it here, scale it down even more, and just rotate it. We'll call this shoe, and we'll set the color to more like orange. Do we use that color? No. Okay, so we'll set it to orange. Set the opacity to about 80%. That way it kind of blends in nicely. Okay, and then we want to make sure we turn this switch on. It's called the shy switch, so if I hit this, it will hide it. Okay, so hit Control D, and we'll move it to this side, and we'll flip it by unlocking this. Set this to I think it was 3 minus 3.1, and this was minus 3.1. Yes, so that will look like a left shoe now. If I just bump up this resolution here, and yeah, and we'll change the color of this to like brown, and just keep doing this. So Control D, and then move it here, and then Control D for the right shoe, and move it here. So I'm just going to do this quickly, so I'll be back. Alright, so once you've got a basic idea of this, so you want to offset the time for these. So we're going to go Shift, and then go File, Scripts, Unscript File, using the sequencer, and we want to offset it by 15 frames. And there we go, we offsetted it by 15 frames. So let's move this across here, and about there, and we'll do the same for the right shoes. So File, Script, Run Script, Sequencer, 15 frames. And then we want to make it a little bit earlier than our left shoe, so maybe about there. That way it comes on. And then for all of these, we're going to set T for a keyframe and scrub along the timeline and hit 0. Now you should have done this before before you offset it, because I just forgot to do it. So I'm just going to do this quickly and I'll be back. And the final step is to make a position path for your name tag. So if we just get rid of all this and hit P for position, hit the stopwatch, and then just move it here. So that's the end. Finally. Oh my gosh, that tutorial took forever. I know it was a long tutorial, but it was, I hope it was worth the while for you guys. And hit the shy switch to hide all the layers. Thank you everyone, my name's David. I hope you learned interesting techniques that you can use for your own creations. Please give a like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more, comment down below if you have any questions. But until next time, I will see you in the next video.